The front desk girl named Zhao Yu opened her mouth to say something, but the manager glared at her and she swallowed her words. The manager then refunded the couple double the room fee and gave them a few small gifts, which successfully made them stop caring and leave Yuanlai Hotel with satisfaction. Did this matter just end like this? I don't think it's that simple. You know, the media I work for is called Strange Talk instead of 315, and helping consumers to protect their rights is not my KPI. I don't care whether the couple is satisfied or not. The strange thing in the last room in the hotel corridor is the point. How can I let it go without explaining the haunted thing? After leaving Yuanlai Hotel, I met up with Liu Ziran, who had been waiting for a long time, and gave her a task. You go to the hotel to book a room later. No matter what method you use, you must book the room next to 214, but you can't let them find out that your purpose is too clear. This is too difficult. Liu Ziran opened her mouth in surprise. Teacher Shen, you are bullying the newcomer. Don't talk nonsense. This is to train you, go. I waved my hand to send her away. That's right. I didn't let Liu Ziran go in with me at the beginning, just to make second-hand preparations. After all, the hotel has never seen her face, so we can book a room and get first-hand information about 214. While Liu Ziran was booking a room, check the environment around the hotel. There is a convenience store next to Yuanlai Hotel, and about 100 meters away is another hotel, and there is also a convenience store next to it. I thought about it and came to the convenience store downstairs of the second hotel. I bought 2 bottles of water, and when I checked out, I pretended to ask casually, "It's more comfortable to stay here." I stayed at that Yuanlai before, and the experience was too bad. Convenience stores like this one next to the hotel are usually staffed by the hotel's own people, employees' families, etc. That's why I went far away and didn't ask the owner. Next to the Yuanlai Hotel, sure enough, as a competitor, the convenience store owner took the bait without hesitation. Of course, it's not just the environment that's bad. That hotel, Tsk, it's not clean. Oh, is it because the cleaning is not in place? I pretended to be interested, but seemed not to understand. The boss pretended to look at the empty store entrance, and then said mysteriously, "We locals never stay in that hotel. Only you tourists are fooled. That hotel, everyone says, is for ghosts to live in." Here comes the key point. I was secretly happy, but I didn't show it on the surface. Ghost? Has anyone died in that store? Who would have thought that? The boss was stunned and scratched his head. It seems that no one has died. Then why do you say it is for ghosts to live? Is it bad feng shui? It doesn't seem to be, the boss was asked. But everyone says so. It must be unlucky. I asked a few shops around, and everyone basically reached a consensus that Yuanlai Hotel was not clean. But when asked why, no one could explain it. Only a fruit shop owner mentioned, "The service and facilities of this store are not good. It can only be barely full during the peak tourist season. Business is usually very quiet. But the big boss of the hotel is generous. Where does the money come from? Maybe it's given by ghosts." But after asking more, there was no more news. In the evening, Liu Ziran met me with a tangled face. Teacher Shen, didn't book a room? It's okay. I'll think of another way. I comforted her a few words. No, I booked it. 212 next to 214. Liu Ziran looked puzzled. But it's so strange. The front desk said the room is almost fully booked. But I see this hotel is very deserted. There doesn't seem to be anyone. I opened the calendar and checked. There don't seem to be any holidays or special events recently. How can a hotel with ordinary service facilities suddenly be fully booked? Add to that the locals' words and Zhu Zhifei's experience. Things are even more interesting. 3 at night, under the cover of Liu Ziran, I lowered my head and sneaked into the guest room area of Yuanlai Hotel. After entering 212, I took off my coat and was about to check the environment. But I saw Liu Ziran with a nervous face. "It's just for work, don't have any bad thoughts." She stood at the door and warned me righteously, "Please, this room is haunted. You still have the mood to think about these things." I rolled my eyes at her, wondering if I had been too gentle with her recently. It seemed that I should put on the airs of an intern teacher again. I hung up my coat, rolled up my sleeves, and checked the bed, board, wardrobe, walls, tables and chairs in the room. There was nothing special. I deliberately went outside the door and made a sound test through the wall, but Liu Ziran said that the room was well soundproofed and the sound outside the room could hardly be heard. I looked at the end of the corridor. There was indeed a storage room next to 214, which was only about 2 or 3 square meters in size. The door of the storage room was broken and could not be closed, so it was always open. 3 brooms and 2 mops were clearly visible inside, and there were also some cleaning agents and the like. There was no possibility of a person hiding. Not only 214, but the rooms in the entire corridor were locked and silent. It seemed that there were no other passengers except us, and even the cleaning staff could not be seen. Strange. Now the shops in the town should be closed. It is time for tourists to return to the hotel. Isn't it said that it is almost fully booked? With many doubts, I returned to the room and began to sort out today's clues. But I couldn't connect them together. I thought to myself, maybe I should find an opportunity to contact the owner of Yunlai Hotel. But would this alert the enemy? Thinking of this, I laughed at myself. I have been encountering criminal cases recently, which made me suspicious. An ordinary hotel owner was subconsciously regarded as a criminal suspect. Thinking of this, I turned my head and prepared to call Liu Ziran to discuss it, but found that she had fallen asleep leaning on the bed. It turned out that I had been sitting at the table thinking about clues for 2 hours. I smiled bitterly and shook my head, and walked over to cover her with a quilt. Just as I walked to the bed, I suddenly heard a mess of footsteps. We have just tested that the sound insulation of Yunlai Hotel is not bad. The footsteps can be heard in the room. It is estimated that they are in a hurry. Listening carefully, the footsteps were quite heavy, as if the person was carrying something heavy. I heard a suppressed exclamation in my ear, and when I looked down, Liu Ziran was also awakened. She looked at me with horror as I stood by the bed, bent over and very close to her. Her eyes clearly showed one meaning, pervert. I couldn't explain, so I could only glare at her, lowered my voice, and said, "I'll explain later," then walked to the door lightly and looked out through the cat's eye. In the corridor, figure was walking from the elevator. He was covered in a white hooded coat, carrying a black wooden box on his back, and walked step by step, his back bent a little by the heavy wooden box. He walked very fast, and soon passed a series of rooms, and even walked past our room. This is already close to the end, and there is only 214 in the past. Didn't the lobby manager say that 214 can't be booked to the outside? Liu Ziran came over, squeezed past me, and took a look at the man's back. He turned pale with fear, and trembled as he said, "Isn't that a morning dress?"